I am pleased that we have a new crop of a younger generation, new generation of members of Congress who know the layout of the land relative to social media, of clips being shared on social media, how to use social media, how to capitalize on the technology that we have. Maxwell Frost is one of these characters. He is I think the first Gen Z member of Congress, young man. You may remember him when he first got elected and he had credit issues and was having a hard time finding an apartment here in Washington, D.C. And because of the way the pay structure is and the paycheck dates, he didn't have the money because he's a young kid. He's a young dude. And he is really made a name for himself as far as a communication standpoint is concerned. His politics are spot on as far as I'm concerned, but also how he's outing senior members of the opposing party in committee, the chairman in this case, James Comer. Because Maxwell Frost in committee yesterday just laid it out, laid bare the Republican plot that they're going to be starting up hearings about Tim Walz, and in Maxwell Frost's words, or to paraphrase, that a man they've never even spoken about in this particular committee is now going to be the subject of an investigation. A la the Biden crime family investigation that just evaporated into the ether, as I predicted it would over a year ago, that this is just a distraction. And as soon as Joe Biden is no longer the candidate, or as soon as Joe Biden is no longer running for office, it's just going to dematerialize. It's just going to disappear, dissipate, evaporate. And that's what happened. They're not holding any more hearings. That's over. There's no efficacy to it anymore. There's no damage to be done to a man who's no longer running for president against Donald Trump. And that's exactly what they're doing now with a Tim Walz investigation, or a prospective one, to start hearings 50 or so days before the election. Watch Maxwell Frost put on a masterclass in a House committee hearing yesterday.
This committee functions as an extension of the Trump campaign. First, we went after President Biden with a nonsense impeachment hearing. Then we went after his son. Now we're going after the vice president because she's the nominee. And my question is, Mr. Chairman, are we going after Tim Walz next week? Because I hear from my staff that you're planning a hearing on Governor Tim Walz, even though he's been governor for 5 years and his name hasn't been uttered in this room or in this committee until something happened recently. Oh, yes, he became the vice presidential nominee. Is he next?
His son's going to jail.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about Governor Tim Walz.
Okay.
Are we doing a hearing on him next week?
I'll have to check.
You'll have to check. Okay. We'll see what happens next week. Someone whose name has not been uttered in this committee, but now that he's the Democratic vice presidential nominee, we're going to do a hearing on him. A complete, blatant use of official resources for a political campaign is what this committee has been. And anyone who's taking part in that should be ashamed of themselves.
He's exactly right. James Comer has been using this particular committee in their investigatory powers under the powers of Congress and oversight, their legislative duty, to run interference for Donald Trump. It has been an in-kind contribution to the Trump campaign, and there's no other way to look at it. There needs to be a tightening down on the reins of exactly these types of strategies. If you saw it all the time from Democrats, I'd be saying the same thing, but you don't see this type of thing. When investigations take place with Democrats at the helm, there is a legislative priority and goal and mission behind it. Whether that be January 6th, to buttress the security of the United States Capitol, to get into exactly what took place to prevent another insurrection. These are the types of investigations that have absolute moral weight behind them, not flippant to disappear as easily predicted, like the China investigation of the Bidens that all went away, like Benghazi. Nothing came from that. Like Fast and Furious, all of these things that are Republican-led are just a distraction because they got nothing better to do. Well, they have things better to do, but they don't know how to do them. They have no ability to actually lead, to actually bring our country into modernity, to make your life better. They don't know how to do it. They have no interest in doing that. What they have an interest in doing is playing interference for Donald Trump, creating an obstacle course for the Democratic candidates running for president, and trying to make it easier for Donald Trump to get there through lies and conspiracy and misdirection. Those are the facts on the ground. James Comer is a projection artist and a Trump sycophant, a bootlicking lapdog for Donald Trump, who is using congressional resources, government, taxpayer resources to contribute effort to the Trump campaign. Unethical? Illegal? I don't know. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can leave a comment below. That would be great. You can also leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at Dollemore.com. Please consider supporting this work. Click the join button below. See what's involved. For $1.99, you can become a channel member and help me produce these videos. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Great way for very little to help support the work. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. If you think you're subscribed, check, make sure you're subscribed. And if not, remedy the situation. Or, just unsubscribe and hate me. What are you going to do? I'm not for everybody. I certainly, this is something after many decades of life that I understand. This guy's not for everybody. If I am for you, though, follow me on social media. You can be miserable with me there. I am at Dollemore everywhere. I'd love to see you. And I'll see you next time. Be more like Maxwell Frost, be genuine, and take care of one another.